Well, it's Christmas again for another year. I'm Bobby Sixkilla, and I know it's unlikely once again that you have, but I hope you've had a good year nonetheless. I hope you'll appreciate this because it's fucking hot in this suit. Welcome, ladies and Bruces, to the 2021 annual Sixkilla Gaming Game of the Year Awards. Now, I know 2021 has not been the greatest year for games. It's no 2017. But the year also had new releases from Daniel Mullins and Spookiest, so it can't be all bad. So now the conditions to be considered for this list are the same as previous years, but in case this is your first Game of the Year Awards video on this channel, the game must be on PC, must have been released in a complete 1.0 state this year, and we must have played at least one episode on the channel. This year we have a total of 64 games in the running. There's a complete list in the description. Just like last year, this video will be partly scripted and partly improvised, both because I know I'm going to forget important talking points otherwise, and also because I hate writing scripts, and I've been putting this off for so long that it's after Christmas. Okay, so we're going to go through my top 10 games of the year, followed by you Bruce's decision for Bruce's Choice Game of the Year Award, which you've been voting for throughout the year. This year I've decided to add a new segment where I go over the top 5 most watched games of the year on the channel. These don't have to be released this year or be feature complete, so everything's in the running. So with that out of the way, let's get started. This spot was a difficult decision as there were so many games I wanted to mention, but at the end of the day I had to shout out Digital's phenomenal Lacuna. With its beautifully animated pixel art, great writing and unique investigative gameplay, the story is written in a way that makes you feel emotionally invested in the decisions you have to make, where there is no right and wrong but a wide spectrum of grey. Your character Neil, and indeed Jerry, must choose what you think is right and live with the consequences and moral burden that accompanies it. Would you place your family first and let the world go to hell around you? You know I absolutely love a good Metroidvania game, and as most of you know, I have a penchant for some anime style. Enter Lost Ruins. First thing that got me with Lost Ruins was the incredible pixel art and animations with the most amazing lighting I've ever seen in a pixel art game. Now aside from the drop-dead gorgeous visuals, it is a Metroidvania and like most Metroidvanias, has a tendency to kick the shit out of you. With slow methodical combat, where you must weigh up your options on how to tackle a situation as opposed to running and swinging. The boss design is a real treat with each of them testing your skills in different ways. Finally, the huge amount of game modes available once you've finished the reasonably short campaign is the cherry on top. Or maybe the jiggle physics of the cherry on top. This year we've seen a fair share of new Pokemon Snap-likes to the point at which I'm pretty sure it's its own genre at this point, but none stand out to me as much as Alekon. It may be relentlessly twee, but the character and environment design are second to none. It has a huge compendium of creatures to find and all the alternative routes that you would expect. It's also the first Pokemon Snap-like game I've played where you have a hub world to hang out in between photography runs, where you can interact with the creatures you've taken photos of, play minigames, decorate, solve puzzles, get side missions and generally cool down in preparation for the next run. Also, there's a huge flying space whale. Kraken Academy is a balls-out comedy time travel story where you and the headmaster of the school, a Kraken, will manipulate time to save the school, during which time you will join different school clubs and appease each club's spirit. While doing so you'll meet a colourful cast of characters, ranging from odd to completely insane, but all of whom are interesting and well characterised. The game plays like a puzzle game on a schedule, not unlike that of the Sexy Brutale, but with the murder replaced with wacky comedy and quips that make me genuinely laugh out loud. Also, the pixel art animation is just so smooth and full of personality. The Good Life is the new game by Spookiest, so those of you familiar with his work won't be surprised that the game is very strange, tonally dissonant, and generally all over the place. It's kind of like a Yakuza game set in backwater Britain on an extreme budget. The tone zigzags between Arthurian legend, violent murder, alien invasion, and riding sentient golden sheep wearing top hats and monocles. There are various bugs present and quality of life issues, but damn if it's not just original and wacky enough to keep me playing to find out what could happen next, because it could literally be anything. The Zodiac Trial came out of left field for me. I hadn't heard about it before release, and then I wake up to an email from the developer with a key attached. I installed it, booted it up, and proceeded to play one of the most twisting and turning visual novels of the year. While there may have only been the visuals necessary to convey the story is brilliantly written, with an unbelievable amount of effort put into the jaw-dropping amount of paths and endings that wrapped up everything in a satisfying way by the end. Head As Code is the re-released first entry in the RB series. If you're familiar with Birth Me Code, it features most of what you would imagine comes with it, including beautiful visuals and an incredibly written story, furthering the story of RB in its entirety. While Head As Code does not feature the puzzle elements of Birth Me Code, it still includes the multipath story, with many endings all culminating in a blowout of a true ending that gives you so much more insight into the characters from both games, and I cannot wait for the final installment. Now, Black Book may not be the most balanced card battler out there, but what it is the card battler with the most impactful, dark and mysterious story based in Slavic folklore. In Black Book, you play as Vasilisa, a witch whose betrothed has passed away. She subsequently makes a deal with the devil to break the seals of the Black Book in exchange for bringing her beloved back to life. What plays out as a story of a witch travelling from place to place to attempt to meet each requirement for breaking the seals, all while either helping or conversely, making people's lives a misery. This is a game where choices make a significant difference and you'll be forced to live with mistakes in the form of sins, which will come back to bite you. I promise. This one's getting a little long, but it would be remiss of me not to mention how beautiful the low poly graphics are here, with striking colours and intimidating monster design. I didn't even know how to begin describing Everhood. It definitely borrows some style and aesthetic from Undertale, but then does something completely different with it. Undertale really shook up the traditional JRPG combat mechanics, but Everhood saw that and said, I'll show you how to shake up combat, turning it into a challenging rhythm game with some of the most fire tracks in a game to date. Everhood's writing is a key factor, as you spend much of the time acting ambiguously, not really sure if you're doing the right thing or maybe you're the bad guy here. The enemies are written sympathetically, and I genuinely felt guilty attacking characters I'd gotten to know. Each one of them fucking loonies, but they're my loonies. Oh wow, shocker. Inscryption is my number one. It's not like many other lists have already placed Inscryption on top. It's not like every year there's a Daniel Mullins game, it places number one on my list. Okay, so it's not surprising or original that it's number one on my list, but like all of Daniel Mullins' games, it's fucking great. And those of you familiar with any of his games will know why I don't really want to talk about the game itself, except to say it's a dark, deck-building roguelike. If you're anything like me, that collection of genres will have you diving for cover and clutching your blankie for comfort, but trust me, give it a go. You won't regret it. But you should bring your blankie anyway. Now it's finally time for the Bruce's Choice Game of the Year award. Chosen by all you Bruces and Brucettes out there. You voted on 64 games throughout this year to bring it down to the final three. The Zodiac Trial, Kraken Academy, and Inscryption, and while the voting was so close, the Zodiac Trial managed to take the win with 48% of the votes. The Zodiac Trial was one of the first games we played on the channel this year, and for it to be still resonating so strongly in the community 11 months later is a testament to its writing, and being Themesian's first game makes it even more impressive. Massive congratulations to Themesian. I cannot wait to dive into their newest game. Now moving into the newest segment, the 5 most watched games on the channel during 2021. As stated earlier, they don't have to be released this year or even feature complete. These will be ranked by playlist view percentages, so here we go. At number 5 we have Head As Code with 7%. At number 4 we have Birth Me Code with 8.5%. At number 3, Quantum Suicide with 9.9%. For number 2 we have The Zodiac Trial with 14.9%. And finally, A Blast from the Past. At number 1 we have Pit People with 18.4% of the playlist views. This one is always at the top and has been for years. It's probably not going to change, but I just thought it'd be interesting to let you know what's getting the views, what is, being pushed the most on the channel. As you can see, it's mostly visual novels, not surprising there. Well, that's it. 2021 done and dusted. It may not have been the strongest years in gaming, but it absolutely had some striking highlights. I hope all you Bruces and Brucettes enjoyed the holiday season, as best as you can considering the circumstances. And I hope you're all as excited as I am for 2022. I mean Elden Ring, right? Make sure you all let me know in the comments what your favourite games of the year have been, and what games you're most excited for in 2022. On one final note, 2021 has been another good year for the channel, with continuous slow but steady growth. We have developed a really close and open community of indie and visual novel enjoyers that I really enjoyed getting to know on the Discord server, and if you're not already a member, consider jumping in. I'm looking forward to chatting with you all in there. I cannot thank you enough for your support, and I want you to know that my dedication to the channel and to continue trying to help great indie devs show off their gems will never waver. So thank you to all my subscribers, thank you to all you indie devs that I've worked with, and an extra thank you to my wonderful patrons, Questline, Rabble Rouser, and Crammerer. You're all amazing people, and I look forward to seeing you all next year. Thanks for watching, thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.